This segment sponsored by Perfect Pup. If you have the desire to get your dog trained, well, now is the time to take advantage of Perfect Pup. They've been in here sharing with us different techniques, and guess what? Don Kimes, the owner of Perfect Pup, is back. Hi.
Hey,
welcome back.
Oh, thanks for having me once again.
Yes.
Hopefully I'm not overstaying my welcome.
No, the information is so good, right? I mean, I think that people are really curious. Either they've had a dog for a long time or they're getting a new pet and they want to know, how do you teach in a very gentle and soft way, but train them well, right?
Right. There's so much for dogs to learn, and especially for pet parents to understand that they need to work with their dogs on that they might not even be aware of.
Right, exactly. Okay, so today we're going to talk about socialization.
Sure.
And I've never heard of this term before in reference to dog training. So share with me, what is socialization?
Well, there unfortunately is no Facebook or Instagram for dogs. But socialization is a way in which each dog interacts with other dogs. And as you work towards a goal of your dog being calm around other dogs, that's what we refer to as socialization, the act of getting them all together in a big group. And hopefully have all calm dogs all around.
Right, yeah, because you do kind of see that interaction. Pups are running up a hallway or at a park and they meet each other and it's like dun dun dun. Are they going to try to attack, or are they going to bark?
That's exactly correct.
Or will they play and kind of chit chat in their own doggy language?
Well, you're always hoping for the latter one, but we have to teach them that that's what we want. Dogs don't come pre-programmed that way all the time, especially if you've isolated them from other dogs growing up.
Yeah.
Then they're even more reactive generally than a dog that's been socialized at an early age.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the benefits. So going through the process of getting the dog socialized, what are the true benefits that the owner will see?
Well, one of the major things that we always work towards in dog training, just in general, is a calm dog. So one of the major benefits of socialization is you're going to have your dog be calm around other dogs and other people. And it's a little bit different for puppies versus adults. With a puppy, you can take the advantage and expose your puppy to a group of dogs where he doesn't know the bad habits just yet, and he can get used to a crowd of other dogs and learn some lessons from the other dogs, especially the adult dogs. And believe it or not, the young dogs are learning from their older siblings or other older dogs in the dog park.
Right, huh? That is interesting, because that is kind of like humans. You have children and they look up to their older sibling and kind of learn behavioral things.
They learn the good and the bad,
right.
Unfortunately.
Both of them. Okay, so let's talk about the socialization process. Like, how do you go about even doing that? Like, it sounds kind of complicated given that dogs can't talk.
Well, one of the major things I would talk about initially is the fact that a lot of people put dogs face to face from the very get-go, and that's really not the way you want to go about it. Sometimes it works fine, but the times it doesn't, you're actually putting two mouths full of teeth together, so to speak, and it could turn bad. So what you want to do is a good butt sniff or a rear end, because that's how dogs go and they greet each other. They smell each other's posterior, so to speak. But then they can go face to face, and we can use chain link fences and gates, baby gates, to help a good proper introduction so there isn't any reactivity.
Okay.
We can also use some other tools, like I have right here, a couple of different muzzles, because we want to get the dogs together. The goal is to get them playing together, and so they're less reactive to each other.
Right.
But we got to do it in a safe way. And sometimes some other tools are required just to make sure that both dogs are safe, all the people are safe, and hopefully your dog can jump in a crowd and be just fine.
Right. Okay, I have to tell you, Don, I wasn't expecting the first step to be a good butt sniff. That is hilarious.
Well, I wouldn't try it with other humans, but it does work for dogs.
What a way to get to know someone. Okay, so let's talk about these muzzles. So this one is a standard one that we're used to seeing, very intimidating.
It is. It's a basket muzzle. They come in this plastic form, and they also come in a wire form as well, a metal muzzle, and these can be very intimidating. but are needed depending on the severity of what you are.
Okay, and then what about this other muzzle?
This is the soft muzzle, and most people aren't aware of the soft muzzle, but it's got a breathable fabric mesh, and it goes around the dog's snout, and it still allows them to drink water, take treats, and even pant without being too aversive. They're still not going to love it, but we can teach them that this is a good thing for them with treats and affection when we put it on, and then it gives us an opportunity to put them into a more uncomfortable situation so we can show them how to be a good boy.
Okay, so I thought that the point of a muzzle was to stop them from being able to attack, right, or use their teeth.
Correct.
So how does that soft muzzle work if it goes around their nose, their snout, right?
Right.
And not their mouth?
So their mouth still can move a little bit,
Okay.
but
But
it
it's
can't get
restricted.
wide open for the full bite.
Okay.
So that's why they can still drink water and take some smaller treats, but they're not going to be able to chomp down,
Right.
so to speak.
Okay, so let's talk about this process of socialization. I mean, I know that you are an experienced trainer. Do you have any examples of like maybe someone you've worked with recently with this process? Okay.
Yes, I recently worked with a dog named Bridget, Australian Shepherd mix, and we went from a dog who was very reactive to other dogs and men specifically, but people in general just was afraid of him. Lunged and barked. It just was not a great situation. By the end of my 9-day training, we had her in a dog park on graduation day, running around with other dogs.
Wow.
And it just takes time. We got to build that threshold.
Right.
We start from a distance, and we reward for calm behavior with lots of treats and praises, and we work up that distance using some tools like a soft muzzle to help them get into that situation so that they can become comfortable with other dogs and other people.
Wow. I mean, 9 days, that's impressive.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Yeah.
But again, you can't just avoid the situation. Just like people, we got to face those fears. Dogs have to face their fears too, but we take it slow.
Yeah.
We build up to we don't just drop them in the deep end. We build up to it in a slow manner. And again, showing them every time they're calm with treats and affection and earn that trust with the dog.
Right.
So that when we get them into the situation that they're truly uncomfortable with, they will be able to be successful.
Okay, so let's talk about the future results in a sense of how long does this training last? Like you said, it was 9 days to complete it. Do you have to reiterate it later on, or is it pretty maintained?
I would tell you with anything that you're going to work on with your dog, you're going to need some repetition, not just during the training process, but well after that as well. But I get the dogs to a certain point in which I feel comfortable turning it over to the owners so that they can take over.
Okay.
So the 9 days, a great example. We accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
But now it's up to the owner to continue taking the dogs out into public spaces so they can become less reactive.
Yeah.
And the reactivity and socialization go hand in hand. The more I can socialize the dog, the less reactive the dog will become. Hopefully to the point where your dog is even looking out the window and not barking at those dogs passing by anymore. And that all is part of the socialization process.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much. I learned so much today.
I really appreciate your time.
Yes.
And if you have anybody that talks too much, I got a great tool for that as well.
Okay, well, you just leave those here. I know a few. And if you'd like more information about Perfect Pup, give Dawn a call. We'll have their website listed below and their phone number. And I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Perfect Pup.